Today we are going to discuss more on the issue of output, outcome, and impact level results in project management or in any given task. Okay, now I know many of you are still confusing and you can't really tell what constitutes output, outcome, and impact. If you go back to my previous video, I was able to give a kind of recap on the difference between the three. But in this video, I'm going to go down a little more deeper on the difference between output, outcome, and impact. The three of them are levels of results. Okay, they are project results. If you have followed me for the first time, please remember to follow, like, comment, and save it. If you click favorite, it's going to be your favorite, and you have to save it. Another thing you can do is to go to your page and on your notification on this on any of my videos. If you on the notification on any of my video, then anytime I post or come on live, you will be notified. So thank you all. Thank you very much. Click the plus sign, like, follow, okay, share, comment. Yeah, you see them there, all of them. Yeah. Engage with the post. That's what we mean by engage. You can engage from bottom up, or you can engage from the top down. Anyone you want. Okay? But by engaging with all of them, and when you are commenting, please let me know your thoughts, not emoji, your thoughts, so that I know, yeah, I'm chatting with real persons. Okay? So thank you, and let us continue with our discussion. I'm going to use the example of a project that you are all used to, and that is your thesis project. Okay? Many of you have HND, you have a BSc, you have masters, you've done thesis at different levels. There are some components of your thesis that you can still recollect. One, you know that your thesis has a goal. Okay? It has objectives and it has activities. Okay? Your goal is the overall vision of your project, the long-run target, the bigger picture. That is your goal. Okay? Most of the time, if you read your goal, you realize that what you are saying is that your project is going to contribute to that goal. Because I've never seen a goal that a single project or a single task able to accomplish. So it will be a combination of tasks, combination of projects, and sometimes combination of programs that will give you the vision or the goal of your project. Okay? I said the overall goal of your project because I just want you to understand it. Your project itself cannot have a goal. That's why I'm saying I'm going to go deeper. There's no how your project can have a goal on its own. It can only contribute to the goal or overall goal of a program or the vision of your organization. Are you getting it now? Every organization has their vision, which is their long-time target, which we call the goal. Okay? There's no how a single task or a single project will give you that goal or that vision. Are you getting me now? So when you put goal in your project, the overall objective of that goal is to contribute, or that project is to contribute to the overall goal. It's not to achieve the goal itself, but it will always contribute to it. Why am I emphasizing this? It's going to help you to understand why, when you are reporting, to know the level at which you are reporting. To be able to differentiate when you read a report or a result-based sentence, you will be able to say, oh, this person is reporting at outcome level result. Okay, now let us leave the goal now. Let's move to the second segment, the objective of your thesis. You have them listed. Most of the time, they are about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not that much. Your goal, most of the time, might be single one or 1 or 2. It's high level. Okay, your objective too is not that much, but it's more than your goal. Okay, so those are objectives. You want to achieve them, not during the project or the task you are implementing, but possibly immediately after them or subsequently after them. So that's why it is called intermediate level result. It is intermediate. Achieving your objective is intermediate. It's not the goal itself. Achieving your goal is long run, and that is impact. Now, task. Okay, in project management tools, most of the project management tools, this will be referred to as task, not activity. If you are using Microsoft projects, it's called a task. If you are using projectmanager.com, it's called a task. If you are using Trello, Monday.com, all the collaborating tools we use in project management, both the software-based or the cloud-based, they will call it task. Even your Jira also call it task. Okay? Yeah, it's also called it task. Before you start categorizing it into other things, it recognizes as a task. Okay? Now, those tasks, they have many, far more than the objectives, because it is when you complete those tasks that you will be able to achieve your objective. Now, these tasks, because they are very many, we cannot be addressing them individually. So they have been categorized into what we call deliverables. Okay? We categorize them into deliverables. And when we're talking about deliverables, okay, we mean that when you accomplish some set of tasks, you should be able to achieve some phases of results. And those deliverables that you are achieving at every phases of your activity or project that are called deliverables are delivered at output level, which we call first level of result. So that means when you complete a task or when you complete a project, all you have succeeded in doing is completion of a given task, completion of a given project is called first level of result. Why? Because they are not addressing the objective. They're only addressing the deliverables. So when you achieve the deliverables, you achieve a milestone that helps you to move to the next phase. When you achieve another deliverable, it serves as a milestone for you, especially when they have what we call finish to start relationship in project management relationship, task relationship, or task dependencies. Okay, so they serve as a milestone for you to move to the next stage. So as you are delivering the deliverables, you are only achieving your output results. And if you go back to your CV, most of the time, what you tell or you have done is all those things that you did during your project phase. 90% of them are outputs. Does that mean you cannot achieve the second level of result during your project? The answer is no. You can achieve second level of result during your project. And that is one of the deeper things I'm going to tell you today. For example, in project management life cycle, we have 4 or 5 different phases, depending on how your organization categorizes it. We have the initial stage, which some people combine with divine stage, especially when you are doing conventional. Then we have the planning stage. We have the execute stage. We have the monitoring and control stage. And we have the closure stage. I mentioned about 6 phases now. I just try to be generous. But in literature, you might see 4, especially in software development sector. We have the initial stage, the divine stage, the execute stage, and the closure stage. So what they did is that they compress the planning stage with the divine stage. They compress the execution stage and the planning and controlling stage, or monitoring and controlling stage, sorry. Why the closure stage stand alone? So that's why you see 4. But if you try to split them, you have the 6. And why is it advisable? You have the 5 because most times they combine the planning and the divine. So you have the 5. And why is this allowed? Is because most of the time you run the monitoring and control simultaneously with the execute stage. So there's no point of differentiating them. That is one school of thought. Since they are running concurrently, then you can compress them. Okay. Because as you are implementing, you're also doing quality assurance, you are doing quality control. So that tells you that whatever you achieve in each of these phases can actually give you some outcome before the end of the program. For example, if you achieve the milestone in the initial stage, don't forget you still have 3 to 4 stages to go. By the time you are in the execute stage, you might have been seeing some of the objective of your initial stage being achieved. I will give you an example of this. In your initial stage, you are supposed to put all your PIDs in place. That is if you are implementing Prince2, which are your project initiation documents. Having your project initiation documents arranged, having them harmonized, having them reviewed, having them ready before you start your project has its own objective. And by the time you started implementing and you are having your risk being mitigated minimally, And most of the issue that would have happened have been mitigated. So you are having some levels of outcome even during the process. And for those of you who are not, implementing programs, I will strongly recommend that you pick your outcome level of result from within the your project life cycle. Just as an example I just gave you. So you can come out outcome from or during the project life cycle. It won't be your activity per se, but your activity contributes to that. So you see that your outcome you always measure your outcome at the end of your task implementation. So get the point now. And that is the difference. Okay? So if we are talking about output, we're looking at the first result you deliver when you complete a given task. When we're talking about output level of result, we're talking about when you started achieving the objective or your set objectives for that task or for the project as a whole. Okay? Then we are talking about impact level or result when you started achieving or when you might have achieved the overall goal of your task or the overall goal of your project or of the program. You have a percentage you are contributing. So when that percentage is achieved, then you have delivered impact. Or when some degree of or appreciable degree of the impact is achieved, then you can report it. I want to give you a typical example now of differentiating this. And that's why I say I'm going to go deeper. One, you are given a project. Okay, let me use UK for example. Let us assume in Birmingham, okay, there is a particular road that, due to the way it is constructed, it's now become a rest spot for accidents. Okay, and all the sector players come together. The town planners, the civil engineers, the transport people, all the necessary stakeholders, they come together like that. We need to stop this rest spot. How do we do it? What is the objective? The objective is to ensure that no accident is happening on that spot again. So zero net or zero tolerance to accident. To stop potential accident. That is the overall goal. So that life will not be lost. That is the goal of the vision, and they want to achieve that one because they make it smart. Like in 2027 or in 2030, we want to ensure that this doesn't happen again. That is the goal. The objective now is, they're not looking at the objective. One, to ensure that all transports traveling on the road comply with traffic rule, to ensure that the road is, to ensure that there is no bend or sharp bend on the road again, to ensure that, they put so many things, so many objectives in place. Okay? And what is the project? The project is reconstruction of the road. Okay? Then construction of pedestrian crossing, put a zebra crossing there so that vehicle coming will slow down. One of the objectives is to ensure that no human crosses the express again. So they put overhead pedestrian there. So when the contractor completed the construction of the pedestrian bridge or rehabilitation of the road, all what they have achieved is output level of result. That is an output. You get the point now? When they install all the camera and the road sign and everything to control speed, and those projects are completed, they are all outputs. At what point did they start measuring outcome? It is when no human crosses the express by themselves. When no human crosses again, they have reduced the rate of people crossing the road by 70%, by 80%. Those who struggle to cross by themselves. They have reduced the number of vehicles that speed above the national speed limit from, because the way they see the record, from maybe 90% to like 20%. So when they have reduction in those activities that lead to that fatality, to the death, or to the accident, what you've achieved at that level is outcome. Let me repeat it again. When you complete all the projects that will reduce that accident, you achieve output. When you are able to control why you install all those things there, you're able to control the speed, you reduce the percentage of people speeding, you reduce the percentage of people crossing, you reduce all those things you were able to reduce because of what you construct. Give you the outcome, the objective is met. Now, at what point are you now start measuring impact? It is when you look back and realize that in the last 2 years, in the last 3 years, in the last 4 years, we have been able to reduce the number of fatality, people that died in accidents, or the number of accidents that happen on that road from, let's say, 90 to maybe 25%. So your ability to reduce fatality rate leads to impact. You get the point now? So sometimes you may even go beyond that. Maybe put emergency centers and a mobile emergency unit on the express, so that by peradventure, if any accident happened, those rapid response team quickly intervene to rescue life. And you start measuring it from all those interventions. So when your interventions are working, you are achieving outcome level. And when that intervention is able to address your goal, which is having zero tolerance to accident or to death, then you start reporting impact. So now look at all the activities that contributed to that reduction in fatality rate during the accident. All those interventions, a single intervention will not lead to the reduction, but all of them coming together. Okay, so when the fatality is reduced, then you achieve. But that particular person who construct the road will still be able to report that my own intervention was able to contribute 10% or 5% to the fatality rate on the road. My own was able to contribute so percentage to the impact of the bigger picture. So do you get it now? Okay, let me give you the second example. Now, they realize that in a community, they always have high level of infant mortality. Children die before they even get to the age of 5. And they now realize that it's because, one, there's always cholera outbreak that affect the children and led to that. And this happens every year, especially during the flooding period. So they now put an intervention in place to reduce the mortality rate of children from current 25% to 5%. What did they do? They now put up projects to have an health center in that community, to have one waterborne facility in that community so that people will have access to potable water. They put different intervention there. So when you complete the construction of that center and you equip it and you staff it, you've only achieved output. When you construct the borehole and you put it there, the water facility, and it's running, up and running, you've only achieved your output. It's an output. Okay? Now, when the community people, when you construct latrines in the community, the communal latrine, or you encourage people to have latrine in their homes, and those things were completed, you have only achieved output level of result. Okay? But when people start using those facilities, you started achieving outcome level of results. People start using the water facility. They no longer go to the stream to go and fetch water, where they will also bathe. They stop bathing in the open river where they get contaminated. They are now using the potable water provided, the waterborne system in the community. When you achieve that one, it is outcome level of result. When people stop using the traditional quack healers and they now start patronizing the health center, they are now achieving, you are now achieving outcome level of all your investment. So all those different projects, program you put in place, maybe you also put program to educate the mothers, to educate the faith-based organizations, to educate the CBOs, the civil society organizations, to educate the NGOs so that they can continue to sensitize the community people. And you look at some CBOs, some community-based organizations, you sensitize them so that they can support this. All those non-state actors have objective of engaging them. When you completely engage them, you deliver output. Okay? When they started sensitizing people and everybody is sensitized, they too have delivered their own output. But when those people they have sensitized, started using the knowledge they had to better their lifestyle, to change their lifestyle, to start doing the right thing, then you are achieving the outcome level of result. And what is the impact? When maternal mortality has reduced, when infant mortality has reduced, when children are no longer dying, or some certain percentage has been reached, and you go to the center to confirm this, oh, before every year we record not less than 10, 15, 20 maternal death rate of children and mothers of pregnant women. But now, we've not heard of any, or we only have 2 in the last 3 years. So you can measure the trend and know the percentage your intervention has contributed to that bigger picture. Again, during this process, you can also measure outcome. But the truth is, it's practically impossible for you to measure impact during types of project implementation, because it's long-run results. It's not immediate, it's not intermediate. It is long-run results. Possibly you start measuring it in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 5 years, 10 years' time. Okay? So, but the point is, even if it is 2 hours after, it's post-implementation phase of an assessment. So, I think with this, you understand how this works and how you can report it in your job description. So, in your job description, you want to tell us what the situation was, what your action were, how you use your transferable skill to solve that problem, the result you achieve, and what make you believe, or what make that unique and that result be the best or unique. And your result format for job description has to be smart. It has to be measurable. We should see where you're coming from and where you're ending. We should see what you were able to contribute to the bigger picture. We should see the outcome you achieve. Okay? And ATS is very smart. It's sensitive to pick those level results. So, I think you enjoyed this one. Yeah. So save it.